Gemini, great to see you. Hope you're doing well. It's time for your Gemini December 2021 reading and predictions. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James. For those of you who are dropping by for the first time, and to the subscribers, do you know it's always good to see you? You know that, don't you? Much love and affection to you always. Well, December is a big month for a lot of people's religious convictions because we have from the 28th of November through to the 6th of December Hanukkah for those members of the Jewish audience. The 8th of December is important for the Buddhist members of the audience because isn't that Bodhi Day? Is that how you pronounce it? Wasn't that the day that's traditionally held to be the day on which the Buddha obtained enlightenment, as I understand it? And the 12th of December, well, extremely important day, the 12th of December, because that is the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe, and important to all the Latino and Latina members of our audience here, many of whom are subscribers. The 21st of December, of course, it's the winter solstice in the Northern Hemisphere, isn't it? So the 21st of December through to the 1st of January is important for the members of Wicca or pagan persuasions, because that winter solstice is particularly important. The solstice, of course, is the day where around about the 25th of December, the daylight starts to become longer again. So although it looked like the sun was dying and losing the light, it then became stronger again from the December the 25th. So December 25th features very heavily in religious traditions and from around the world and from all ages. And of course, who could forget the 25th of December, which is the famous Christmas Day, celebrating the Jesus Christ incarnation. Now, let's take 5 cards, shall we? The 10 of Swords for you. That's a great card to have first up. A lot of people think the 10 of Swords is bad. I think it's fantastic. There's the 3 of Wands. I love the imagery on these cards. You are going to like them too. There's the 2 of Wands. You see so many good things happening for you. I told you that. See, people get scared of the 10 of Swords. I don't. And there's the Star, and that sits underneath the 10 of Swords. So now I had a peek then at what that was, so I'm not going to cheat. And for the highly talented and attractive Gemini, what is the final card for us to have a look at before you come down? Oh, the 2 of Cups. Well, it doesn't get better than that, frankly. Come on down now. Sit down here next to me. We'll have a good close look at these cards together while I do the reading for you. Love images in cards. Here we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's have a look at this image first. It happens to be called the 10 of Swords. It has a conversation to be had with you today, or this evening, whenever you may be watching this 10 of Swords. Look at this image here. Well, I have to tell you, I've loved theology over the years from all different religions, and this image reminds me of an image which is in the last book of the Christian New Testament called the Book of Revelation, and it is in chapter 6, verse 7, where it says, "Then the Lamb broke open the 4th seal, and I heard the 4th living creature say, 'Come!' I looked, and there was a pale-colored horse. Its rider was named Death, and Hades followed close behind." The astrology of this card is interesting because it is the sun ruling the 3rd decan of Gemini, that 12th to the 20th of June. Now, here the sun in Gemini is, well, I'll put it bluntly, it's difficult. Because Gemini, which is a sign that, if you look on my Astrology for Beginners series of videos on the playlist, you'll see that it is the emanation of divine spirit which just bursts in all directions. There's no focus. And so here, Gemini disperses the sun's energy, and perhaps it disperses your own focus as well. In fact, being in the suit of swords, you might find that your focus is entirely on the mind. and perhaps it becomes unstable. The reason why I say it becomes unstable is because 10s are inherently unstable. The divine energy which winds its way through each of the tarot cards will, after this, find itself here in the third world of air. It will find itself in the fourth world of space and time, and into the ace of discs. So there's a period here where you might be coming through some wisdom as a result of pain and loss, or there could be some negative thinking which disrupts the harmony and balance of the heart. I think you need to look at where the fears in your life lie and change the way that you are dealing with them. Is there something of a broken heart there? Is there fear of the destructive energy of accumulated anger rising up within you? You know, for me, this energy can sometimes refer to pain, and yet you should understand your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding. Even as the stone of the fruit must break that its heart may stand in the sun, so you, at times, must know pain. And could you keep your heart in wonder at the daily miracles of your life, your pain would not seem less wondrous than your joy at seeing these things around you, and you would accept the season of your heart, even as you have always accepted the seasons that pass over your home. And would you watch with serenity through the winters of the grief, your grief? That's what you would find. It's nothing unusual. Do you know much of your pain is self-chosen? It is the bitter potion by which the doctor within you heals your sick self. Therefore, trust the physician and drink her remedy in silence and tranquility, for her hand, though seemingly heavy and hard, is guided by the tender hand of the unseen. And the cup she brings, though it might burn your lips, has been fashioned from the clay which the potter has moistened with her own sacred tears. Understand that that potter, she is always with you, and she says to you, "Hear me and understand me well, my youngest and dearest child. Let not anything frighten nor grieve you. Let not your heart be disturbed. Do not fear that sickness nor any other sickness nor anguish. Am I not here, who is your mother? Are you not under my protection? Am I not your health? Are you not in the crossing of my arms? What more do you need?" You know, from time to time, it makes sense, I think, to consider what your greatest fears might be, and then imagine what would the total destruction of your life look like. Well, it's always something that you are going to recover from. Once you have recognized in what areas your fears lie, formulate your own specific affirmations using only positive terms to help reprogram yourself. And say to yourself now, "I invite the positive into my life, and I welcome it wholeheartedly." Now, as if to underpin that there are nevertheless good, this is only a momentary thing and it's passing, to underpin what great things are in your life, let's have a look, because this is the base of that column there. And here we have the star. Do you know that the Eskimos, I think, had a proverb which said, "Perhaps they are not stars, but rather openings in heaven where the love of our lost ones pours through and shines down upon us to let us know they are happy." I call this lady here the daughter of the firmament. Here it is Saturn ruling Aquarius with Neptune exalted. Now, Aquarius is all about the individual and uniqueness, and yet there is an overall humanitarian outlook with Aquarians. Well, the star shares these qualities in that she is trying to remind you about the divinity and uniqueness within you, while she is encouraging you to be a beacon for bringing down your highest potential. At the moment here now, we have a period where there's going to be for you really quite an inspiration, almost like a divine inspiration, I think. There is self-recognition, the crystallization of ideas, radiation out around this period. You are going to be very attractive to other people. I hope you're aware of that, and I'm sure you'll know what to do about it. But you will see that you have a trust in yourself. And it's almost as if there is a connection here to universal intelligence, hope, happiness, opportunities, optimism. That's what this is speaking of in distinction to this energy which came here, which it says this is a moment, that Ten of Swords, of cleansing for you when you go forward now in spirit to make room for the divinity to pour down into you. This star here is fully open to the input from the spiritual plane and passes it on in full service to the highest good. She is the channel used by divine energy to manifest on earth. Her hair actually acts as an antenna of sorts to extend perception, and it flows to the earth, carrying with it the inspiration of the cosmic. A new crystal clear vision lends form and purpose to that which just a moment ago was only a vague impression. You gain a more penetrating view into the boundless potential of your development. The power of the inspiration you receive gives wings to your soul and lets the apparently impossible become manifest in marvelous ways. So this is a time for you now to let your star rise and stay in contact with the earth. Trust your environment and find ways to let others share in it. You will be tested and recognized by the fruits you bear. Ask yourself this, though. Are you totally fulfilled in your present area of work? Check to see if you are doing everything possible to bring your ideas into fruition. Say this to yourself. I am a radiant light being. I am a star that walks upon a bigger star. I see what can be of benefit to people around me in the future, my creative powers of imagination, and my connection to all-encompassing consciousness. It shows me the way to realize my ideas. Well, where shall we go to next? There is, I think, this central energy that I want to have a look at now. Isn't she beautiful, this woman? Let's have a look and see what this has to say. Then we'll get onto that, and then I think we'll do that. Let's see this first up. It is, of course, the Two of Wands. Gee, it looks like a doorway in a respect, doesn't it? Do you know, there was an English poet, William Blake, who said, "In the universe, there are things that are known and things that are unknown, and in between there are doors." Well, two trees don't make a forest, but they do make an excellent door. In the Garden of Paradise, there were two trees, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and bad, the two most ancient beings whose fruit is the sun of everlasting life, and the moon of cycles of good and evil, life and death, eternity and time, black and white, macrocosm and microcosm, above and below, within and without. The masculine yang and the feminine yin are the primordial contrast that everything else can exist from and is the black and white towers of the priestess's temple, the temple of the horizon where here and there meet time and eternity, life and death, body and soul. Well, here we are in the suit of wands with the number 2, and as wands, these are 2 torches that flank the temple door, the door to yourself. Into this black space is a vacuous void that pulls you to come inside, to fill the space and become a star, an exalted and enlightened soul by your own hand. Now, the balance and symmetry of the 2 towers is of incredible importance in our world of duality. This is the golden gate to and from heaven. Perfect balance, justice, order, and judgment. Finding this balance is foundational in everything that will come after, in everything that will be created or manifest. Now, the name which I ascribe to this card is that of the Lord of Dominion. Now, it is Mars ruling its own sign of Aries, in fact the first decan of Aries from the 21st of March to the 30th of March. So here we are, right up in the suit of fire here, right up in the suit of fire. And I think what will happen is Aries here is giving you that feeling of exploration, pioneering. And the number 2, well, it's about balance. And so you might see the energy and have the energy to move in new directions if you want, from a place of balance and harmony, which is the 2, with the confidence and aggression of Mars. There's almost going to be like a warlike energy around you, that of a dynamic pioneer, maybe dominating or mastering a situation, maybe dominating somebody else. Certainly, I don't think you're going to be just satisfied with your lot, do you know? And you'll definitely, overcoming this, be focusing your intent. See, I see here, as I say, Mars in the first decan of Aries. Well, what we have here is the planet Mars, which is the bearer of dynamic active powers, is in its own sign, the pioneer who constantly seeks new ways and methods of advancement. And that drive forward is going to find new directions for you. I think you might find that you feel that you are overcome with boldness, with courage, fierceness, maybe, if I may say, even a degree of shamelessness. I think you'll be generous and proud, and there could also be a certain amount of revenge and resolution attached to you, and I make no moral judgment against that. But this energy here is suggesting to me that your will, your spirit, is beginning to rebel against its predisposed boundaries, come hell or high water. You'll be using your willpower to break through stagnant situations and remove long-standing blocks. This really is now a time for you to act. You've got this intention to act, but act on instinct and what you believe to be right without overthinking the situation. You'll also have dynamic powers of leadership ability and energy that is building up. Pay attention to centering, though. If you're in contact with your center, you are certain to master the situation. Trust your energy. Don't go for any false compromises. Which tasks and situations are a challenge for you? If you are in a challenging situation, sit down upright and comfortably. Breathe deeply into your abdomen. Wait until your breathing flows gently and calmly and you feel quite relaxed. Then visualize the situation at hand and see yourself dealing with it while remaining centered. Say this to yourself because it is true for you at this time that I find the strength I need now in my center. Well, while we're on that subject of you, now having this intention, I think you're going to start putting things into being here and making some things happen. Let's have a look at this. A fascinating image, is it not? Let's have a look. Well, here I see that the three wands calls down the creative gaze and grace of the divinity. It is the kundalini, the serpent which coils at the base of the spine, sex and knowledge between the two trees, two people, two aspects of the self, or heaven and earth. As in the six-pointed star, the merging of male and female. This sets the kundalini in motion, pushing up through the spine, creating the third pillar, through which the lightning of God can blast down and through which your consciousness can travel up. Intent and desire, lust for knowledge and enlightenment are the base of this pillar. From here, you look up and reach for the heavens, reach for the answers to the great mysteries of good and evil and life and death. Now, this is also a lot of Aries energy here, I see, because it is the sun in the second decan of Aries. This one before was the first decan of Aries. This is the second decan of Aries, this one here, the 31st of March to the April the 9th. I call this the Lord of Established Strength. And this is talking to you of honesty, self-confidence, and no compromises. I think you're going to have the situation where you see your ideas crystallizing. The things that you built up in your mind with the two are now coming into manifestation and turning into creation with this number 3 here. There's confirmation, I think, here that you are on the right path. You know, it may well be that you're getting thoughts of a hobby becoming a small business here. Now, here we have the sun in Aries, as I say. Well, this is particularly good because the sun is also exalted in Aries, and so this placement is very favorable. And Aries enjoys a challenge, and Aries suns are happiest when their lives are moving forward. In this 3 of Wands here for you, I see the unity of mind, heart, and action, the unification, and together, working together. There's a newness represented here by the sun in Aries. So there's like getting birth and creation around it. So you may hear of pregnancy, you may understand it, you may hear of a birth, but there's a birth of ideas, a creation, things happening, things being delivered into manifestation, into matter. What this 3 is giving you is that this is now giving you the direction, this card here, that the 2 of Wands that's here had and needs to apply itself in order to be of the best for yourself and for people around you. I think this tells you to understand your virtues and to trust yourself to make the right decisions in your life and not to be held back by fear. This is looking both inside and outside with integrity, honesty, and no compromise. You might also want to check the integrity, perhaps, of somebody else at this time, and that person could well be an Aries. But for you, it is important to operate from a place of integrity before making any decisions at the moment, and to have clarity of mind and heart before taking action in order to get the best results. Unless you do have clarity of mind and heart, then don't act. But if you do, now is definitely the time to get things happening. Pay attention to your own point and internal stillness. Center yourself and overcome. Are there any reasons for your self-doubt? Really? Real reasons? Do you yet doubt your virtues? If you are not centered and feel doubts lingering within, then do away with them. And remember, I think there was the Mother Divine speaking to you there earlier, saying that you were cradled in her arms. Say this to yourself: I have the power and virtue to reflect and to know. Let's quickly have a look at this number 2, which is underneath it here. Do you know, it's interesting. I have this feeling that, as the wands are the spine and swords, the breathing lungs, and the suit of discs is the body. The Two of Cups is the heart beating and bleeding, taking in and moving out, a constant force from the beginning where you rise from the dark waters of the high priestess like Poseidon's horses running in the surf. Blood and water, passion and purity, animal and human, these energies are the horses that pull the chariot of your soul. Now these two horses are ripples in the water that arise from your thoughts, actions, love. They go out and they come back. They are sphinxes guarding the pyramids of the sun. Your connection to every other thing, your very existence in the water affects every other part of the water, and care should be taken to know your horses. Drive them with balance and love. This is the connection between yourself and the rest of the world. After a space is made, a fire lit in it, you are released onto the world for good and ill. The astrology is particularly good here. It is Venus in Cancer. Well, this is beautiful because Venus is the most receptive of the planets, and it's about love, beauty, and creativity, and Cancer is the most nurturing of the signs, dealing with comfort, support, and healing. So this is speaking very clearly to me of receptive love, happy relationships, and emotional exchange. I also have very much the feeling of close bonds and togetherness, love, harmony, and a relationship that is strengthening, and a mutual love and respect. This is a time of great love for those within your family, intimates, and also for those out in the world around. Well, I thought that was really, really interesting. It looks like it's going to be a great month for you, and don't you deserve it? You really do, particularly coming up for this time of the year. It's busy for everybody, wherever you happen to be, and it's a wonderful time of year, and it's a wonderful time for you. Now also, don't forget, I have done a 2022 yearly calendar reading where I use some beautiful Renaissance art cards, 12 cards, one for each month of the year, which I think that you'll find delightful, and it's in particular, it points out what a good year it's going to be for you. But until then, have a look at that. But until then, I look forward to seeing you again next month. And remember though, always, and one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.